KTR, take one. Action.
Damn. Y'all feel that?
A message to all you pseudo spitters. The sound is cool, but the trend I see is the truth is missing. I feel the flow is stupid. You claim that the music's different. I guess it's all opinion, depending on who was listening.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR_podcast. Hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We are back, and we are in the building at Shock City Studios, live and direct in St. Louis with my boys, Big Harv and J-Bo himself for episode 56 of No Roast Podcast. No Roast Podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR, and we are back. And my brothers, how are y'all feeling today?
I'm feeling beautiful, buddy. Feeling beautiful, feeling good. Cinko over here said he's feeling cute. Well, I'm feeling beautiful. Let's go ahead and go off that same energy, homeboy. What about you, Big Harv?
I like that.
All right.
I like that. Good job, yeah.
I'm gonna stay ugly. I'm gonna be the gritty one. I don't know what they on, but it's time to get down to business. We here in Shock City Studios
All day.
Let's get going.
That's right. Before we get going into this episode, we gotta do this one simple favor for us, and that is I need y'all to do this. Follow us on all social media platforms, KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. No Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube. No Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms. Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. We're on everything. And don't forget to get your merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR podcast. Let's talk wrestling real quick.
Let's do it.
Let's dive into it. First, we're going to talk about... We're going to go this route because we've been neglecting them for a bit, so we're going to give them some time now. Let's talk about All Elite Wrestling.
AEW.
AEW been having some stuff going on lately.
Yeah.
Also, quick shout with AEW before we dive into with their video game, Jade Cargill is going to be the first black
girl.
female
On the cover.
of a wrestling video game. Shout out to that queen, undefeated, beautiful as hell, and she's going to be on the cover of a video game. Her overall better be over a 96 at the least.
It's got to be here. She got to be one of the top on the roster. That's the only way that works.
If I don't see no other intents that would have her lower than that. She's unstoppable right now. So
all I'm going to say is I told y'all a long time ago. I told y'all since the first match. I was called out. I was talked down on. I was called trash.
Yeah.
I got all kind of names. And I told y'all Jade Cargill is a full package. And now take a look at her. She is the first female black wrestler on the cover of a wrestling video game. Get on somewhere. Keep going, Cinko.
he ain't lying. He said it right when it happened too.
He talked all that.
He talked that talk.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah, but besides that, I had to get that shout out first real quick. We're gonna talk about let's see, Kenny Omega. He returned back into the wrestling ring after his injury hiatus in a trios tag team match with the Young Bucks. They call himself the Elite, and they wrestled against Andrade, Rush, and Dragon Lee.
That look, man.
Bro.
Yeah.
That man dove his body into the crowd.
Oh, man, that was insane. That was insane.
That was crazy.
And got up after.
All right.
He got up.
Yeah.
I remember I told Cinko that night we was in a three-way text, and I told him I was tired. I'm about to go to sleep right after the match. Boy, when I saw Dragon Lee go into the front row of that audience, I was up. I was up after that because I was cringe. Boy, that was dangerous. Shout out to Dragon Lee for that one.
Big shout out to Dragon Lee.
Looked like he hit a little girl.
Right. The kid ran out the way. I went right out the way too. I ain't about to catch y'all. I see a body diving from the. I'm like, shh. It made me rethink if I wanted pounds of money for this front row ticket.
Yeah. I thought it was funny how they barricades was built too.
Right.
They just pulled it apart, walked back around to the ring, and put the barricade back. That was hilarious.
Crazy.
Tell you a lot.
Old school.
Yeah. But how y'all feel about Kenny Omega making his return back to AEW?
Or if you go ahead and start with that one.
I enjoyed it. Of course, I've been a huge Kenny Omega mark for a long time. It was good to see him back. He's obviously still not at 100%. He has some sloppy spots, showing his age and showing his injury, but he still put on a really, really solid performance. I think that the match as a whole was really good. Big spots, everybody made themselves known. It was solid all around. I think he gets a solid B+ on this return.
Especially in the stats that he's in with right now with his injury return.
Right. I mean, he was still in the sling, compression, had the compression on, so he's obviously feeling it. Especially at the finish, it was a little sloppy. He nailed it. I was worried about that one-winged angel. It looked like it was going to be disastrous, but he made it happen.
To be honest, seeing Kenny Omega back coming from his injuries, from what I saw on Wednesday.
Dynamite.
On Dynamite, thank you. On Dynamite, to be honest, that's exactly what I expected out of him in that type of match. I was not expecting a 5-star match from him, but he did put on, honestly, a main event quality match, and I had to give him that. I do got to give credit to everyone else involved. I got to give credit to Young Bucks, to Andrade, to Roosh, to Dragon Lee, because they also helped make that match what it is and helped make Kenny Omega shine in his return. As far as what I see from Kenny Omega going forward, maybe he has one more world title reign in him. Even if he gets it, if he doesn't, I'm not going to be, too upset of that. He done so much already for AEW and for the wrestling world entirely. You can tell that his career is winding down, even though he said it. You can also see it in his ring style as well. But yeah, for a basic return, I thought that was good for Omega. The cleaner.
True.
Yeah. The announcement was dope too. I like how he did that. That was raw.
That was dope.
First of all, I'm gonna call that man Rush. It's spelled the name Rush. I don't care if
It's
Rush.
Roosh.
I don't
It's
see no
Roosh.
accent mark over it.
It doesn't matter. It's Roosh.
I'm calling him man Rush. Anyways,
You need
man named Rush.
You see a tilde
Right,
on top of
I
that
need
word.
something. But yeah, this
So
man
you're talking
name is
about Leo Rush. No, we're talking about Roosh in this case. Okay,
that man-
Roosh,
that man
former
name-
2-time Ring of Honor world champion.
That man
Please
name-
put respect on his name. It's Roosh.
That man name is Rush. I don't care. But like I said, no, I wouldn't hate no Kenny Omega match. It was good, because I'm not gonna say I don't respect, but I'm not a big fan of. I'm gonna say that. But I was pleased what I saw in the ring from where he is at with his injury going on right now. He did well, and so big shout out to him. We're gonna see how far they make it in the trios tournament and see if they get the belts, be the first time champions for that.
To be honest, I hope they don't get it.
Me too. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
It's no knock towards Omega or Young Bucks. They're already high positions in AEW. They've already won all the championship belts that they could already in a few years that AEW has been around. They do not need that right now.
Need it, yeah.
AEW already got a load of championships anyway, so just use this as a catalyst for someone else.
It's a great way to push somebody else once it gets to that final round when it's the elite against whoever else. Yeah, and that'll be a great way to push that team.
That
the
would
trio.
be,
So figure out ways to push some new champions on the roster. And speaking of champions, we got the original AEW champion that came back with CM Punk confronting the AEW interim champion John Moxley. It's gonna be a good match coming up next week on Dynamite. They're not gonna wait till All Out in Chicago. They're gonna do it on live TV. I'm glad because pay-per-view costs a lot of money.
It do.
So I hope this match doesn't go into qualification, and I got to pay for it later.
That's the expectation.
Exactly.
That's what I think is gonna happen. Yeah, they gonna give you just a little taste,
right?
Just enough to make you want to pay that extra amount of money to see that match.
True.
That's exactly what it's gonna be.
Facts. But how you feel about that feud though? Which niggas?
Oh man, I thought that the return was great. Punk coming back with the vigor and just calling out people who wasn't even there. He's still getting in trouble backstage at this time and point in his career, and it's not a bad thing. I feel like he shakes up the business in a way that it needs to be shook up. He comes back and says things that need to be said. I felt like Moxley held his own with him. He came out, they traded blows. It was pretty good with the verbals, and then a good brawl, good pull apart brawl is hard to do in 2022, but I feel like they did a good one. The crowd booed as soon as anybody came out and tried to pull them apart. It was well done. It was well done. I enjoyed the entire segment. AEW don't open with segments like that a lot. We usually see that from WWE, right? So it was fun to see. I feel like it was well executed.
Yeah. To be honest, it seems to me that CM Punk, when he came back, especially on the mic, he seems way more rejuvenated. When he came to AEW initially, he had a lot of moments on the mic, but they just seemed different. Like he was holding back just a little bit in all those segments. But on Wednesday, when he went to blows with John Moxley, the gloves were off.
Yeah,
he said everything that he felt, that he believed, what he thought, and what he was going to do. I mean, it just felt like this is the CM Punk that I was waiting to see mic-wise. Not to put a knock on anything he done prior, especially his work with MJF when they had their verbals. But I don't know, it just felt like he was released. Like he was able to get off his chest what he believes as the AEW World Champion, which is what a World Champion should be on the mic. And I'm not going to give any knock to Jon Moxley. He, as Harv mentioned, he did his thing, but I'm sorry, I got to give it to CM Punk with that one. He owned him in that one.
He did. He owned him. I ain't denying that. Right. I gave Moxley his props. But that was all Punk.
That's something you don't see all the time right there, for real.
It's not. Yeah, the only thing Moxley could do was just go ahead and swing.
Right. That's what he did eventually. Yeah, it was a good segment, man. They pulled it together. Yeah.
So who do you think is going to be the overall champion at the end of the feud?
It depends, because I think match-wise, Jon Moxley has enough physical in-ring prowess, especially at the stage where CM Punk is in, for Jon Moxley to win. But business-wise, I see CM Punk coming out and staying the AEW World Champion.
They said in that promo where they went back and forth, Moxley said, "I'm the heart and soul." Punk said, "I'll be the dollars and cents." That's exactly how you just put it, and that's how I feel it's going to go.
So that
Moxley should. I feel like he is literally the heart and soul of the company. He should be on top. He deserves to be on top. But right now, Punk is hot, and it only makes more sense to keep it on Punk.
Well, in that case, then whoever wins, and hopefully it's a clean win, this will probably give shades to the direction Tony Khan is probably going to go in with his wrestlers. Is he going to go down that, business route, eventually, entertainment? Well, I don't want to say entertainment, because AEW, they're really trying to stray away from that. But, the business side of it, are they really going to stick with the heart and soul of what AEW was built off of? And that's with Jon Moxley.
Entertainment makes money, so you got to get that bread.
I know, man.
About who they want to see. And I feel like it's win-win regardless. I feel like this is one where even though smart money is on Punk, if Moxley wins, it's not that big of a detriment to what could happen monetarily. You know what I'm saying? Because people still, they love Jon Moxley. He's a heart and soul for a reason, so they still going to pay to see him. I just feel like Punk being as hot as he is right now, you kind of have to. Yeah.
If this match gets disqualified or anything where the titles do not change hands on Wednesday, CM Punk is winning because it's also in his hometown. He's not losing in Chicago.
No way.
Fact, like right there.
No way.
Yeah, so we're going to see what happens with that match. But with the whole AEW talk, we're talking about with their monetary value right now and how they need to kind of step up currently because how the WWE is stepping up their business as well with the obvious changes going on right now. I saw this question on social media. I believe it's Twitter. Most likely it was Twitter. That's all the wrestling talk really happens at. Do you think there would be an AEW currently if Triple H was in his position years ago? If Vince McMahon had, quote unquote, retired in earlier years before AEW became a thing, do you think there would be an AEW right now?
Absolutely, because Punk and Rhodes had beef. They had backstage beef. That was part of the reason why he left. Triple H and CM Punk had beef. That was the reason why he left. So I see a lot of things still going the same way. With COVID happening, I feel like they was going to have to cut people anyway. I feel like the cuts would have been different and developmental wouldn't have suffered as much as it did. So the landscape would be different, but I don't think it would negate anything that AEW has done except for certain talent that they've grabbed. They were doing fine before they was cutting everybody. They were still making waves. Like WWE, they did the thing where they put NXT live at the same time as AEW because they was coming up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And gaining popularity. So I think they'd still be okay. It would just be different. It'd be very different.
I don't think AEW will have nearly the roster size that they would have. It's piggybacking kind of off of what Harv said, but if you think about it, a good 30, 40%, maybe more of AEW's roster right now is former WWE guys. So I don't think their roster will be nearly as volume filled as they are, because if Triple H was there around that time, he would have utilized as much in-ring talent as remotely possible. But AEW still would have been a thing. When you have an organization like the WWE, there's always going to be competition. There's always going to be other wrestling organizations. And then you're going to have, your Tony Khans out there. You're going to have your Kenny Omegas, your Young Bucks, your Cody Rhodes. You're going to have those people out there where they can band together, get some money in, and still try to make something. So it would have definitely existed. Back to what Harv said, it just would have been different, but it would have definitely been around.
Yeah.
I'm a little more to the nay side, you know, lie.
He said no.
Yeah.
Why you
Show
saying
your
no?
work.
Well, resume. No. I'm not too sure if AEW would have been around. I feel like these other talents, they probably would have jumped ship maybe to like other promotions possibly before like maybe another promotion. Because I gotta think like who was really like the head starters of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And like what is like Jericho, Rhodes, CM Punk mainly basically, or CM Punk came in a little later actually.
Yeah, much.
Yeah, so
much
I think I don't think CM Punk would have like made a value or difference, and I feel like somebody with like Jericho with his status, and I feel like if Triple H was in charge years ago before Rhodes decided to leave or before his contract ended, I feel like maybe terms and ideas in certain situations would have changed.
They didn't get along backstage. That's what I was saying. I feel like he would have left regardless of who was in charge. He would have went on his whole little Renaissance thing by himself. The building blocks for AEW wouldn't have changed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just the people that they signed long term when other things started happening in the world.
Yeah.
I think Triple H would have made
makes
different choices as far as who to cut.
Yeah.
I don't think who do they have? I don't think Miro would be over there at all. I don't think Samoa Joe would be over there. I don't think Regal would be over there.
He wouldn't have been over there.
Who else they got? I don't think he would have let Daniel Bryan go.
No.
It's a lot of people that I feel like wouldn't be over there.
Right.
But some of them I feel like he still would have let go.
True.
So they probably would have still snatched them up.
It makes sense. So speaking about
Would they be as big? Probably not. I say that.
Yeah.
I will say that. They probably wouldn't be as big as they are right now. They probably still be middling around. They wouldn't have been able to purchase ROH. I don't think that would have happened.
No.
Right. That makes sense. So, all the Triple H talk, he's been like bringing people in, and unfortunately he had to cut ties with NXT UK because they're about to grow something big with that in the following year, 2023. And we see these new returns coming back with wrestlers, seeing Dexter Lumis on TV. We seen Hit Row coming back on TV as well. We, like I said, past episode, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, people like them. Give me 3 wrestlers that you could possibly think of that Triple H might be able to come back.
Can I give you 5?
Bring back, I'm sorry. Huh?
Can I give you 5?
Go ahead, give me 5.
I'll give you 5. I
Right.
got 5. So, and I guess this is in particular order, and I have a reason for all of them. So one of them I will believe is Johnny Gargano. I think that one is pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily leave NXT on bad terms, and we already know that Johnny Gargano and Triple H and NXT, like I can definitely see that one happening. So I think that's straightforward. Another one is Bray Wyatt. Again, a lot of people believe Bray Wyatt as well, even though there was rumors about Bray Wyatt being very difficult to work with on the main roster. But the crowd loves Bray Wyatt. He was money. He was consistently entertaining throughout his stint as the Fiend. And I don't see why they wouldn't bring a power hitter like that back, especially in this new Triple H, Stephanie McMahon regime, now with HBK involved as well.
Right.
Another person I think they would bring back is Keith Lee. If you notice, Keith Lee, he was dominant in NXT, but then he came up to the main roster and he was let go. Then he went over to AEW. Now, he is one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions, but he's still tag team competitor. When he came in, he had like a good dominant 2 matches. Then it would just kind of float until him and Swerve became a team. So I think Keith, before he retires from his career, he wants a singles run. He wants a good, strong singles run like he had. And not to say he can't get that in AEW, but with what he has already done in the WWE underneath a Triple H regime, I think he has a better chance going over there and finishing out the career probably the way that he wants to.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I feel like he probably wants WWE more than most
overall
people that went over to AEW.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Now I got two more, but it's probably going to be a little bit more crazier. So you got to work with me on this.
All right, I say a lot of crazy things, so this ain't gonna phase me. Go ahead.
So the next one I believe is Matt Cardona, or y'all may remember as Zack Ryder. The reason why I believe him is because we know Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. When he was in WWE, he was pretty much just thrown around, maybe on TV, maybe on main event, maybe not. But since he left the WWE, he has established himself as not only a major singles main event player, but as a heel. He can do face, he can do promo work, he can do all of that. And I believe, and he kind of hinted a little bit, but if he had the opportunity to go back to the WWE and take that same character that he has built on the independents and work with somebody like Hunter, HBK, who can take that and put it back on the main stage and give him the actual run he can work for, I believe he is one person where, at least around the end of his career, he can come back and do some work in the WWE.
That man, he's a great marketer, especially social media wise. He was really like the first.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's basically doing what he was doing while he was under WWE with the Internet Championship.
Exactly.
Like, he built himself. He always has.
Like, he's probably like what? Like how like some rappers, they get a record deal and they get released and see how successful they are independent.
Yeah.
He's a successful independent rapper right now.
He really is. Yeah, he really is. Yeah. He Tech 9 out here. He ain't never signed. He ain't got to sign. He ain't got no reason to.
He really don't, but yeah.
If he can keep that same money, get some more money and keep that same creative freedom that he had now in the independents, I think he'll be a major player in the WWE as well. And I got one more. This one probably going to be crazy. Y'all probably going to look at me like I'm weird, but I'm going to go ahead and put it out. The last one I would say is Kurt Angle. Yes, I did say Kurt Angle. Y'all probably like, why in the world? Why I say Kurt Angle? Let's be honest here. Kurt Angle did not leave on a good.
Talking about Perk Angle?
That's disrespectful.
Really?
Yes, I said Kurt Angle
right now.
Disrespectful.
Because
You were wrestling?
no, like I'm talking about like a last match type of thing. No.
We don't need another last match.
Look, dude, he has been.
That was unnecessary.
That was completely unnecessary. However,
That was messed up.
he is
like that.
He's been in the best shape of his life since he has been sober, and he has been off that stuff. And since he has been good, I believe he should come back. And I believe Triple H, HBK would definitely be the people who will get it done, where he can have a proper last match. It was hella dirty for him to have the career that he had in the WWE and for his last match to be in a losing effort at WrestleMania against Baron Corbin. I think what'll be justice is if he comes back, he has two matches. One match is just to beat Baron Corbin, just get out the way, and then have a last match just to actually end his career the right way. Because right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still hurt that his career ended the way that
I'm
it did.
glad you saved that one for last.
Yeah,
That's the least likely scenario. He said himself very recently that he don't think he's gonna get back in the ring.
Yeah.
Hey,
you don't need to.
I had to throw a crazy one out.
You don't. That is, I agree with Gargano. I think that's definitely gonna happen. I feel like him and Tommaso Ciampa it needs to be on the big main stage. That has to happen. Just like Owens and Sami Zayn had to happen. I feel like that is tailor made. They can tag, they can fight. It don't matter. Them two have to go at it at least once on the main roster. Bray Wyatt, of course, I don't feel like he's gonna go anywhere else. He's had plenty of time to go other places. I feel like there's a lot of rumors happening around about him going back to WWE because it's true. I feel like he is on his way back in, so I agree with that one as well. One that I want to see is honestly Braun Strowman. I just don't. I was confused by that whole drop. I feel like they've missed the train with him several times. Like he was nothing. He was terrible. You know what I'm saying? He was like any other big man that they move up. Couldn't move, couldn't really do much, and he improved himself. He became a monster heel from like the 90s. It's something that you just haven't seen in a long time. But he put himself over. He came up with his own catchphrase, and then just out of the blue, they cut him. They never really trusted him, kind of like Bray Wyatt, to have a long-term reign with any title.
Right.
He didn't need titles, but he deserved titles. He was a main event caliber superstar that they should have kept.
And like he was really like the perfect giant. And
He
like,
was.
He perfected his craft and projected. He knew he didn't have to do too much, especially his promos. All he had to do was be big, yell, get these hands.
Man, that's
like,
it.
that's
And the crowd
it.
loved it.
And they loved it.
And I'm root for everybody. Black always will, always have. But if the rumors are true that they chose Omos over Braun Strowman, That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
And Omos is better than what I thought he would be. He's grown a lot as well.
Yeah.
He's just not very convincing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But he's
not
grown a lot.
convincing.
He's
Yeah.
grown. He's better than, say, a great Khali. He's not bad for a big guy.
he's better than Great Khali.
Yeah.
I
It just
think
feel like
about every big man over or close to 7 feet tall is probably better than a Great Khali.
yeah, that's the thing about it. It's just
A
with,
low bar. Yeah,
it's just
a low
with,
bar.
it's just with Strowman. It was like a perfect package because then you could leave him alone without having him with assistance with anybody. Pretty much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like almost is still kind of green still, in ring wise and mic wise, but like he has the presence though, but he can still move. So I give him that.
And when you have dominant wrestlers, especially like Braun Strowman, it's kind of hard to keep the fans interested if they just keep dominating. But Braun made that work.
He did. He made it fun.
I'm
Right.
still, till this day, one of my favorite Money Bank ladder matches was when he went in and won it. He went in, he just dominated.
He just
The entire
wrecked
match
it.
was
He
just
just wrecked it.
him,
Yep.
and he won. And it was so convincing, and it was entertaining at the same time. So, yeah, I mean, just from that and then the rest of his career, it's a fumble that they, like you mentioned, they just let it go.
It's another one that they fumbled, and I feel like they need to bring him back and fix that.
Yeah.
I would love to see Angle have another match because I agree with you on how you went out. Trash.
Terrible.
Trash, but I don't think it should happen. I don't think it should happen. I feel like it's bad choice. I feel like he's done. He needs to stay done. Ric Flair, I feel like is the tent pole. Don't do it.
Look, man.
Don't do it.
Kurt Angle was my limit. Now Ric Flair, like we already know that should have just stayed a geriatric patient nursing home matchup, maybe.
I hope he show up in the NWA next weekend. I want to see him. I want to talk to him.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I just have a couple words for him.
What you gonna say, Cinko? I'm
Why?
curious.
Why?
And he gonna say,
Why? I'm like, Rick. I'm like fan, like, why? Why you do that to yourself?
"Oh man,
Love yourself. Appreciate it.
Why do that to us, Rick?
Right.
Why do that to your fans?
I paid good money for this match. And I was concerned. Look, I'm looking at the camera. I was concerned for you.
it was bad."
Don't do this again. Don't have
Don't
another
do
last
that.
match,
Don't
please.
do that, please.
Man,
Don't do that.
Ric Flair he had some interviews on with a few folks, and he mentioned that he passed out twice in the match, and then Undertaker. So he went backstage, and hopefully I'm quoting this right, but Ric Flair went backstage after the match. He had 6 beers. 6 beers available to him. Undertaker went back there, threw him all the way, and gave him 2 Gatorade bottles because of how concerned he
Because you're
was.
melting.
I get that. I appreciate your concern, but Undertaker gonna have to see me in the parking lot if he threw away my alcohol. I'm just saying.
Not if you blacked out twice in a wrestling match, you ain't gonna see
I'll
nobody
wake
in the
right up
parking lot.
if I see my ball get knocked over, I'm waking up. All the ounce of energy in my body is gonna be right
you
there.
wasn't wrong.
Whatever, dude.
Then I'm gonna pass out again.
He saved his life. He
He
saved
saved
that
his
man's
life.
life is what he did.
It's one thing when we saw it on TV. It's another thing. Like they was in the front row. Like they saw
Yeah, they saw
everything.
it live.
Like I can understand.
Undertaker, like, I'm glad I made my last match a Cinemax movie.
took my time.
Netflix
Cut
flick.
Right.
and break.
Cool. All right, my 3 people. I think one actually was Braun Strowman. I really agree with you on every factor point that you made with that because they really need him back. They need a dominant, a dominant giant in there.
do.
Yep.
Just somebody just within that mix of these powerhouses they have right now with like a Reigns, a McIntyre, a Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
You need somebody with that stature. Stature doesn't mean that but they need somebody with that stature though, an imposing force. Just to be on the show and just that can compete, especially when we have something maybe like they bring out an elimination chamber match. That would be a hard hitting elimination chamber match, something like that, or like a fail forward, just something that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just see power for power, who's gonna win, something like that. Because apparently, beforehand, before the Triple H reign right now with Vince McMahon, nobody could touch Roman Reigns if you smaller than him.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
so
real.
that's my first one. My second one would be Mickey James.
Okay, why? Why you say Mickey?
Because
James?
I know I'd love to see Mickey back, so I'm interested to hear. Show your work.
you saw the big pop that she had when she appeared at the Royal Rumble. A lot of people love her right now. She can give us another solid 3 years minimum. That's really what we need right now, just for the current women's roster. She could have just like her one-time title reign and also be like a catalyst to help push other talent over in like certain matches. Because right now, especially with Sasha and Naomi Sasha and Naomi being gone right now, the roster is like really like green.
Yeah.
It really it's green right now. The women's roster, unfortunately, it's green. There's no shade, no hate. It's just green right now because you have Ronda Rousey as your champion. Ronda Rousey, is supposed to be this imposing force, but it's really hard for her to hold her own on the mic and lack of wrestling ability right now. And also, Charlotte Flair is not there on TV currently right now either. And like, you have on the Raw side right now, luckily they brought back Bayley and Bianca. Yeah, so like Raw looking good right now because they got Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Bianca, Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai. They're solid.
Yeah.
SmackDown right now is a little on the kilter because they top 3 are gone. So that's my concern. So like bringing back Mickie James, I feel like would be a help towards that SmackDown's roster right now, just because how green it is, and just help bolster some talent and just keep it more lively.
I think the only reason why she got the pop that she did at the Royal Rumble was because she brought out the Knockouts Women's title. They would have to do some type of rebuilding with Mickie James, because even when she went over to Impact Wrestling, it still wasn't the level that she has had at one point.
That's why I just said 3 years.
Shoot, I still think that's pushing it.
3 years. I think she could pull it off. I mean, that third year, she's not gonna be dominant or nothing like that. It's just like, what we're like Natalia's at right now, just helping like talent go over. That first year, like the first like 6 to 8 months, put a belt on her.
Yeah, reestablish
her, put a belt on her, let her hold her own promos, stuff like that, TV time. Then once the time comes when people actually come back with hopefully Naomi and Sasha and Charlotte, now you could make stuff flow and actually help try to build up lower talent right now that's on their women's card. So that's my And last tag team,
okay,
Enzo and Cass.
I'd get up and walk out if I could tell where the door is. Can't tell where the door is.
Bring back Enzo and Cass. You need another like established tag team. That's a group camera. All right, you can't look. This is my camera. Bring back Enzo and Cass. Why not for a tag team?
No,
they can hold his own promo. No. How's it? No, that's a true tag team. We don't have true tag teams right now.
Cannot wrestle.
What that mean? No, I'm not gonna say that.
I can kind of see Big Cass because he rebuilt himself. He's been in the best shape of his entire career. He's been putting on star-studded matches in Impact Wrestling. He's honestly Impact World Championship material at his stage. So I can see that.
Yeah.
Enzo though. Maybe I'll humor you. Okay. Maybe if Enzo was strictly a mouthpiece for Big Cass, then I can somewhat see a return.
I could get behind that.
Okay, but a tag team, like they're both actively in the ring, like tagging each other, like Big Cass, big dominant. I can stand toe to toe with you with Braun Strowman and tag in, have Enzo, man. How you doing? No.
Why's Braun Strowman in the tag team match?
No, call himself Meatball Marinara or something like that.
Yeah, Muscle Marinara.
It's just.
Okay, so you tell me you can't see Enzo as a tag team or a tag team champion, but you can see Rey Mysterio's son.
I didn't say that.
And so you're all right with that, right? Y'all all right with that? But but it's a problem when Enzo becomes champ. Yes. But Rey Mysterio's son, who can't talk, who can't wrestle.
What's his name?
Yes.
Rey Mysterio's son.
What's Rey Mysterio's son's name?
Rey Mysterio's son. I might cut this out because I went hard on him just now. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you telling me Rey Mysterio's son is better than Enzo? That's what you're trying to say?
I'm not saying that. We're talking about a tag team competition.
Yes. In the ring, absolutely. Now, on the mic, which is why I agree with what he said about him being, and I ain't even going to go as far as to say that I can't see him as a tag team champion.
Just tag team. I'm not saying that he's a singles competitor.
I'm not going to say that it wouldn't work in WWE. I just don't want to see it.
It will.
That's just me.
It will
I feel
work
like
in-
it would work. In
Yeah,
WWE.
see,
to your credit,
your wrestling mind is taking over
might.
the entertainment standpoint.
No, it's
you
not.
think about
Because of that,
wrestling,
exactly,
entertainment.
exactly.
But like I said, the entertainment factor, I believe it'll go a whole lot further if you just let him loose on the mic, and that's it. Like if you let Big Cass wrestle, and then even during the match, you can have just Enzo get his little the leopard skin microphone and just have him dog out whoever he's wrestling. Like that's a perfect combination. It don't have to be a tag team.
I feel like for it doesn't have to be for the sake of tag team wrestling. I agree.
Exactly. Like how many tag teams are out there?
To have a big returning tag team for that factor, I agree.
Right,
but
because there's no
if
true
we were
tag teams
going
out there
for
right
what
now.
would be the most profitable in the long run, it would be him just on the microphone with Big Cass as the
I'm fine with that. But I'm just saying, like for right now,
I agree with what you're saying as far as bringing in a tag team, just like what you said about Mickie James with bringing in a woman to go ahead and boost it back up. I agree that would work. That's actually smart. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
I'd much rather you bring up other tag teams, build them up, and watch what they can do. So you already got the Diamond Mine on NXT. That's already more entertaining than them right off, dude.
The Diamond Mine?
Yes.
You talking about the two husky?
Yeah, the two.
Brock
Lesnar.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
No, we not. You take out Roger Strong and the black dude. You want to bring up these two dudes just as.
Yes.
See, you just think about wrestling right now. He ain't thinking about the entertainment.
No, I'm thinking about the entertainment side that you can get from wrestling. But no, I did not take away the entertainment piece. You can keep Enzo, but just as a mouthpiece. I'm just saying there's other tag team that you can focus on where you can utilize somebody like Enzo Amore on the mic, just on the mic. Just on the mic and let Big Cass be Big Cass.
What is your problem with Enzo in the ring?
We don't need to see him in the ring no more.
But you want to see Kurt Angle in the ring
one time.
You want to see Kurt Angle in the ring. You want to see Rey Mysterio's son in the ring.
I did not say that.
But you have a problem with Enzo wrestling. What did Enzo do to you?
I cannot see Enzo in the ring no more. I can't because it's like okay, you know how hard it is for you to watch Dominic Mysterio in the ring.
I don't know who that is.
Rey Mysterio Jr. You know how hard it is to watch him in the ring? It's hard for me to watch Enzo in the ring. It's not hard for me to hear him on the mic. That's where I'm going to give him his money. But in the ring, we don't need to see him in the ring no more.
The comparison with Dominic is what's killing me because Dominic is not terrible. He is just nowhere near where he should be by now. For him to be in the ring with his dad and with all these other people all this time, that man is still as green as the day he stepped in the ring. That's my problem with Dominic. He's not terrible. He executes everything fine. But you shouldn't just be fine at this point.
There's a saying that says, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
You don't got it. Yeah, that's really all it is.
That's it.
That's really all it is. He's still just as green as he was when he started, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That's a problem.
And I think he's just coasting because, I mean, come on now.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? I agree. Shoot. Well, yeah, that's all it is with him. He's not terrible, but Jesus, I wish he would evolve a little bit. I wanted to like him. You know what I'm saying? It's rough.
Rey Mysterio and his son are equivalent to Michael Jordan and his sons. But anyway, on that note, that is all the time we have for today. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love. Appreciate everything that y'all do for us, because without y'all, there would be no The Roast podcast. But until then, I'm gonna need y'all to do this one super favor for me, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms, KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah. No Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No The Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Power Me on everything, and don't forget to get your merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR podcast. And shout out to Shock City Studio and our engineer Drew, live and direct in the background, helping us out with the show. We appreciate y'all and everything. This is episode 56, KTR, #KTR, and we are out.
What should they do, Big Harv?
Pump those numbers, baby.
Yeah.
That don't compute in my mind, I must be out of mind. Black fist high, rally up before we out of time.